What is up, everybody? It's Kamikaze here today, and today I wanted to teach you guys some tips and tricks on how to get better at Call of Duty Mobile. Now, I have 10 here today, and I think that they could definitely improve some new players, or even some players that have been playing for a little while. So let's get right into it, everybody. So yeah, guys, before I get into this video, if you could, please, and now I know what you're thinking, I'm going to say, please like and subscribe. No, actually, I would like to know, go down to the comment section, I would like to know exactly how the audio is on this video. See, I've been trying to improve the audio lately, and I want to, figure out if it's balanced in terms of, I've tried to equalize it and make the bass not too much. So I just want to, see exactly how that's doing there. So thank you guys so much for that, and also, like and subscribe helps. So let's get right into it, guys. Now, you may be asking, Kamikaze, what are you doing making this video here? You're not that great of a player. And I know, I'm no pro, I'm no iFerg, but I know how to hold my own in the game at this point. I've played around like 2,000 matches, and although I don't play a ton of ranked, I do, I have pretty decent map sense. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I know that I'm not the greatest at this game, or that, I'm not perfect. I just wanted to teach you guys some things that I've used to get better. See, the thing is, with playing this game, is that you're never actually really trying to become a pro, or you're trying to become extremely good or something. You're trying to become better. And over the probably past 2 months, I've gotten a lot better at this game, purely because of a lot of these tips. So I wanted to kind of share them with you guys. Hopefully, if I could help anybody out, it really does. I think that these really have helped me out a lot, especially, some of these tips about focusing, because I have issues focusing. So we're going to get right into it, everybody. Now, for my first tip, it's don't stop moving, guys. When I used to play this game back a while ago in, Season 2, I would, kind of stand there and trying to, almost, it was like my brain, I wasn't focused enough. And my brain was kind of like in a fog, and I would sit there, and I'd be trying to aim, and I'd just forget to move. See, the thing is with this game is that you never want to stop moving. Movement is a big part of this game, and you always want to focus on it a lot. A lot of people think this game is all about aiming and shooting. No, it's a lot about movement as well, because movement is basically your defense, guys. You don't want to stop moving, and one of the ways you can do that is by strafing, moving back and forth. You can slide, you can jump, you can do whatever. You can crouch, you can prone down and make your hitbox smaller. So just don't stop moving, and move in different ways. Being predictable is one of the worst things you can do in terms of defense, because you will die instantly. And one of the most predictable things you can do is just sit there, because they know that you're not going to move, and they're just going to shoot at you, and you're going to be dead in a couple of milliseconds. So you definitely want to keep on moving, and never forget to not stop moving. Now, my next one is try to practice your game sense and map tactics. This was one that I had a big issue with when I was, starting back in the older seasons. I would really, again, it's like this brain fog. I wouldn't focus. I would just be sitting there, not even focused out. I would just be zoned out completely, and I would be sitting there, and it's kind of like in school, if you're not paying attention, then you're going to get zoned out, and you're not going to understand anything that the teacher is talking about, So you definitely want to focus and make sure that, you're understanding where everyone is, and that's the thing about map tactics and game sense. Game sense is basically where people are spawning and where they would go. You have to kind of put yourself in their shoes and see, hey, where would I go, in order to find them and hopefully get them in their worst point and kill them. See, that's a big thing with game sense, and map tactics. See, if you can get behind them and you can shoot them first, that's almost an instant kill for you, unless, you have bad aim, like I do. But honestly, you have a major advantage if you can shoot them in the back. But from behind them, it's the best thing to do. So being able to kind of undermine them and figure out where they are is so important in this game. Now, my next thing is make sure you have the right loadout. Now, especially with Gunsmith, see, this is even more important nowadays with Gunsmith, because if you have a bad loadout, if you have bad attachments, guys, that can make your gun honestly suck, and especially if you have already a sucky gun, okay? So what I recommend that you do is you maybe look up a video, just look up, okay, what's the best attachments, best loadout. Don't go in on those videos where this is the new best loadout or whatever, because there are YouTubers out there that make 30 of those videos, and it's honestly quite annoying. No, look at just look up a video that is about the meta of this game, a serious video, not just oh my goodness, accuracy 100, stuff like that. Don't watch those videos. They're kind of cringe. So my next thing is to try ranked. Ranked is such a great resource if you want to get better, and honestly, if you're going to get better, that's where you're going to play. See, I personally, that was one of the things that I got a lot better with, was I played ranked. Now, I personally, not a huge fan of ranked, okay? I'm decent. I'm halfway decent at it, okay? I got to Champion League, which is one of the top leagues. It's the top 5% or something. I played a lot. It took me about 2 weeks, and once I got there, I was honestly it was so sweaty and try-hardy that I mean, I'm a pretty decently casual player. I like kind of focusing in and trying to get kills and everything, but for the most part, I'm not into this hugely competitive play where people will do anything to get kills, like throwing Molotovs and stuff like that. It just gets annoying for me, so I don't play it. But I must say, when I did push for ranked and legendary, I noticed a major difference in terms of my gameplay. I went from, all the way down here all the way to up there. And one of the big things is you're playing against real people. Understand that you're not going to have a 5.0 KD, okay? Not even the best players have that. You're going to get probably a lot lower KD. My KD in ranked, actually, like for my ranked stat was like 1.5. So, and I'm used to actually having, I think I have like a 2.2 in regular matches. So it's a lot different in terms of playing, and it's very enraging, but if you learn to kind of get past that, you can get a lot better. Now, my next tip for you is to always experiment. See, you can look at all the YouTuber videos you want, and they do help out a lot. I got a lot of help from watching like iFerg's videos on how to get better, because he was like one of the top players a couple seasons ago, and he's still extremely good. Learning from him and stuff like that, but always try to experiment for yourself. See, one of the things is people try and copy everything that these YouTubers do in terms of their settings and HUDs, which their HUD is basically like where all their buttons are. And that may not work out for you, okay? Because, see, those YouTubers are probably running on most of the time iPads. Me, personally, I'm running on a Samsung S10. Now, you can imagine that the sensitivities would actually be a lot different because I have a smaller screen than they do. So, me, personally, I have to go at a higher screen sensitivity than iFerg would, or I would not be able to play very well. That's one of the big things. You really have to focus on your sensitivity and figure out what works for you, not what works for other people, because it's a lot different, and it goes from player to player. Even people on the same device, if someone had the same phone as I did, they would probably have a different sensitivity depending on what playstyle they're playing. If I'm playing like a sniper or something, if I'm playing like really long range, I'm going to want a lower sensitivity. If I'm playing really up close, I'm going to want a higher sensitivity. So, always play around with that, always experiment. I personally like distance acceleration in terms of like my screen mode. Some people like fixed speed, and that is actually really good. Fixed speed is very good. But for me, with my smaller screen, I like the acceleration on it, which helps me to move around a lot while still maintaining lower sensitivities. So, always experiment, and you can never copy every single YouTuber's loadout exactly, because that's probably not going to work out for you. You can, take inspiration from them, but I recommend, trying everything out for yourself and figuring out what works for you personally. Now, my next thing is, and I've talked about this a little bit, mentally focus, guys. Mentally focusing is very important in this game, because if you can't mentally focus, then you're really not going to get kills, okay? And I don't just mean, sitting there and just like having this kind of brain fog. That's kind of how I describe it. I have a big brain fog moments sometimes where I just can't focus. If you're playing for a long time, it's hard to focus, but you just have to focus. And if that means taking a break, that means taking a break. But you really have to focus on what you're doing. Make sure you're aware of your surroundings, and don't play really late at night, because that's a bad idea, especially in ranked. Because I'll tell you what, you will lose a lot of points because you're just not focused, and your aim's going to take a hit. Your movement's going to take a hit. Your game sense is going to take a hit. Everything's going to take a hit. So just mentally focus, and try and play at a time where you're the most focused, especially with ranked guys. Now, my next thing is, don't forget to reload as often as you can possibly. Yeah, I have big issues with reloading because I just run out of bullets. Maybe that's because of my aim. I don't have the bestest of aim. My aim's gotten a lot better recently, but I still don't have the bestest of aim. And you need to pump a lot of bullets in order to get a kill if you have really bad aim. So I kind of lose a lot of bullets there, and I think, a lot of people have had that issue. You have a very limited magazine, okay? Some of these guns only have like 30 rounds in them, so you definitely want to make sure that you're using a gun that, first of all, if you're having trouble with reloading, use an extended mag, of course, or a fast mag, and make sure to reload when you can, because you don't want to run out of bullets mid-fight, because that's an instant death sentence. So make sure to reload as fast as you possibly can when you can. Now, next up, I say practice different playstyles. Now, practicing different playstyles is something that a lot of people don't do. They think, oh, I'm iFerg or whatever. iFerg, he does not play objective at all. Most of these YouTubers don't, okay? And that's no like insultment to how good he is. He's a freaking god. Most of these YouTubers are. But they are so good that they don't have to play objective. Me, personally, I'm not all that good. I have to play objective. See, they can get enough kills that, to be honest with you, their other teammates can cap the objective or whatever, and there's really no need for them to do it, because that'd just be counterproductive. If you're a player like me, and you're kind of average, I would say, or even just slightly above average, just kind of play objective, and if not, you can try and be a slayer. You can do the best you can. Just make sure you kind of understand your playstyle, where you are, and whether you're a sniper, objective, just slayer, whether you're kind of like just a, I don't know, whatever, just understand your playstyle and where you're going to generally go. It also makes you make decisions faster. You don't have to make decisions like like on the fly, okay? You want to already have kind of that preset, okay, I'm going to go for the beacon. You don't have to think, oh, should I not? Because that just takes up time. And again, it's all about that mentally focusing that you want. Next up, we have always try to have some sort of cover to be behind. Now, this is a big thing when it comes to hitboxes, you know? There's this thing called like a head glitch or something like that. I don't know if it's truly a glitch, I don't know. But basically where if you're behind some covers, your head only pops up. So they have to get a headshot in order to kill you. One of the big things is you have to have some sort of cover most of the time. A lot of these YouTubers, you know, they use cover a lot in their videos because they don't want to die. And that's how you get a better KD, okay? You know, you can go out and you can play extremely aggressive, but if you have no cover to be behind, you're not going to get kills, okay? In a gunfight, it's all about having the edge on your opponent. You know, it's always about accuracy, of course, too, but you always want to have that edge. If you can shoot them from the back, you can get that kill. However, you know, you want to have some sort of cover just in case they turn around. You always want to be in a situation where you have the advantage, okay? You know, if you have bad accuracy like I do, I don't have the greatest of accuracy or anything, the greatest of recoil control. What you want to be is behind cover as much as possible. Now, that is very different from camping, everybody, and that is number 10, which is don't camp, okay? You can be behind cover all you want, but there's a difference between being behind cover and camping. Camping is basically staying in the same spot for the entire game, okay? Staying behind cover is a very, you know, not static, it's a very fluid and mobile way to play the game. Having cover does not always mean you're going to be in the same spot all the time. There are a lot of different places for cover, and you always want to make sure you are behind one of them. You know, not just the same exact one, but try different places. You know, move around, okay? It's never fun for players to camp. It makes the game a lot more boring, and so you just want to find cover and not just stick with it, but move around. And that's especially good if you're playing objective, because you're always going to have to be moving around where the objective goes in a hard point. You know, domination, you always want to be capping that. So you just don't want to camp, okay? You know, camping is bad for the game, and it makes it a lot more boring. So definitely do not camp. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye guys.